How do we apply the principles of mindfulness and mindful acceptance when treating anxiety and anxiety disorders? Well, this week we're looking at part 2 of a conversation between 3 anxiety therapists that answers that question. So let's get to it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Anxious Truth. This is episode 319 of the podcast. We are recording in early June of 2025. In case you're listening from the future, today we're going to join part 2 of a conversation that I had with my friends Rosen and Joanna Hardis, 2 other anxiety specialists practicing in LA and Cleveland, respectively, where we talked about how we apply the principles of mindfulness and mindful acceptance when treating anxiety and anxiety disorders with real clients. If you have not watched episode 318, which is the first part of this conversation, go back and do that now, and then come here and pick up as we finish the conversation and look at directions that we might take going forward. So before we get back into this chat that I had with Lauren and Joanna, just a quick reminder that The Anxious Truth is more than just this podcast episode or this YouTube video. There are way more resources on my website at theanxioustruth.com, including books and social media feeds and workshops and all the goodies. So head on over there to theanxioustruth.com. Check them out. Avail yourself of all the resources, especially the free stuff. There's no reason not to. I hope you find what you get there helpful. Let's get to it. We're going to finish talking with Joanna and Lauren about how the 3 of us apply principles of mindfulness and mindful acceptance when we are treating real anxiety and anxiety disorders in real therapy clients. I hope you find it interesting. So here we go. When last we left our band of 3 here, we had done a little bit of a role play where I was the anxious client and you guys were the seasoned therapist, which you certainly are. And what struck me about that was how different. I even said it in the last episode. I put a little edit and say, look how different the approaches were. Same principles, vastly different approaches. Or what seemed like it, or was it just the way you presented it? I don't know.
I think that there were maybe differences in terms of like application, right? So I think I started in on it sort of talking about the concepts and like being, because we were talking more about the general day-to-day life that you were having. It's almost like an introductory part of therapy. And then, Joanna was really in the application in the moment, which was I actually really appreciated that we hit both sides of that. Like it sort of had a natural progression to it. But I will say a lot of, the way that like Joanna approached in the session, like when it was happening, that, hey, can you actually say this thing, right? Can you actually say, I'm noticing that I'm having the thought that, or I'm having the thought that blank. And because sometimes just getting that granular about the whole experience is so crucial.
But I think some of it may be also stylistically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally.
I think so. I got more like direct, although I'm sure that in actual sessions that would change over time naturally. It was just a little snippet. But yeah. I got from Joanna more like instruction or a little bit more instructional or coaching. And from Lauren, I got more imagery, which was both very helpful. You combine them together, like pretty solid, right? So.
Right.
I hope so. And Lauren, are you feeling better?
Well, and Lauren identifying, which I remember being really impactful for you, how you were feeling, that you were feeling scared.
Yeah, that's a big part. Thank you for reminding me that, because I was thinking about that last week too. Like, Lauren, you were really good at that. Like you must be really scared right now.
Yeah, I think that is what she said.
And I think that's such an important part when we use principles of mindfulness. We're trying to like objectively describe the moment that we're in. And instead of trying to like pretend we're not afraid, how about we just start with like, I'm really afraid right now. Okay. Yeah. Well, now what? Now what do we do? So.
Well, we're not doing anything with it. Just like that's okay to acknowledge it, let it be there. But we don't have to make meaning of it or, process it to death. It can just be there, be in your body, be in the room. And then, okay, well, how do you want to respond to it? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah. And here's some other ideas to like kind of what you were doing as to what you can do with it.
Yeah.
I will say like to the discrepancy that we're talking about, though, one thing that I found over time is like so much of it is modeling that what you were just describing in the room with people is like, oh, you're gonna tell me that you're anxious. And my response, and part of this is just now how I've learned to respond to anxiety more or less, especially with other people, is like, oh yeah, and right, like that there's not like this big reaction to it. And I was actually reading up on this is so nerdy, experiential avoidance in parents and how that informs experiential avoidance and anxiety in kiddos. And the whole idea for those listening and who are not as nerdy as I am, that like the idea that like people are avoiding internal experiences like anxiety, and the study showed that experiential avoidance mediated the impact of being controlling, like parents being controlling, like that kids were more anxious with controlling parents, but only if they were being controlling out of a place of like, I don't want to feel that way. Which is interesting and does speak to this idea of like, if we show up in session and we can telegraph to the person that we're with, like, yeah, you can, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're anxious. Cool, me too. Now what? That's a totally different approach than most people are used to having. Whereas like even really well-intentioned anxious parents going like, oh my gosh, you're anxious. What do we do now? Like, uh-oh, this is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, there's the flexibility that if you look at the whole acting, like the triflex thing, get present, open up, do what matters. Well, open up is the part where like, well, all right, well, you usually only see one option, which is fight this or, resist it or whatever. But if you open, is there another possibility? What else could that be? And you're right. As clinicians, we might start with, it's funny. I said that to a friend of mine the other day, she's practicing in Florida, and she's like, I don't know, maybe I should stay out of this anxiety disorder thing and just stick in my lane. I'm like, really? Half the battle is just learning how to shrug kindly when people are anxious in your room. Like, that's what so you start there. Like, okay, that's a good place to start. You're really afraid and anxious right now. Now what? Now what do we do?
Right.
What are our options now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that speaks to the ability to be aware, right? And watch the experience unfold moment by moment. Like, I'm anxious. I'm having this sensation. I'm having this thought. I'm having this emotion. Now what do we do?
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
And to Joanna's point, nothing, right? Like the idea is that we do nothing with that, but you have to be aware that that's happening in order to not respond to it, right? And then to just pivot toward what matters to you, back to the present, right? Like, and really grounding in your sensory experience of the here and now to the best of your ability, because that's where life is, right? Like,
yeah. We were talking about it before we hit the record button. That word being present. Sometimes I find that that's a challenge too, because the word presence comes with all kinds of imagery and connotations, and people like qualities to presence. Like presence means calm. Presence means clarity. Right. I'm being present.
Yes.
I'm fully engaged. Like, all right, maybe, but really, I think in our context that we're working on here, presence is like a hard slam on the brakes. Like there's nothing gentle about it. It's the moment. It's being able to observe and describe what's happening and then stop. That's all that's happening. And like the idea that this means I'm dying, or this means I'm having a stroke, or this means I'm this far from insanity, that is going out. That's going beyond what's actually happening right now.
Right.
So presence is just slamming on the brakes and stopping for a second before you jump to that last conclusion.
Right. It takes people a lot of practice. It's, I have it as one of my shameless plug for my book. One of my mental fitness skills is practicing the difference between identifying the facts of the situation and then the meaning you make of the facts.
Yeah.
And I think it's really helpful in session, even for people to practice that, because it's hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even like we were talking before we started recording, after we recorded, and I found myself ruminating, starting to go down that path about, how much I screwed up and all of that. The facts were, we recorded, I said some things. The meaning I made was that, I didn't know what I was talking about, and I said something stupid, and they're going to kick me out of this group and all of that. That was, none of it happened except in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But it was a process of me like literally 9 times over the weekend, bringing myself back and doing that separation. Now, I think we all practice this stuff all the time, so we know to do that. But I think that's how granular, using that word that Lauren brought up, we have to help people, get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think building off of that and combining what you were saying, Drew, about how abrupt that process is, it's not soft. It's like the catching yourself, it like you can be gentle about it, but I often say to my clients, I need you to be aggressively present, not like, like we're not talking like it's like the interrupt button, right?
Mhm.
That's what we're looking to do. We're looking to interrupt the momentum of this thing that will otherwise carry you off. And like Joanna was
Yes.
describing, like, okay, I'm ruminating, and I too was like, second guessing myself, and oh, well, did I do it right? But to be able to say, oh, look, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm not, but that's not what I'm doing right now. Like right now I'm playing with my baby, right? Like, so I'm just going to bring my attention back to the smile on her face and the sound of her giggles. And the thoughts are still going to be there and the feelings are still going to be there, but I don't want to miss this moment so that I can try and figure out whether or not I screwed something up on a podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really good. Aggressively present is really great. Like when I'm like, Joanna's pretty directive. And when we did the role play, when I'm working with clients, I will often, you're kind of learning this skill. So you're coaching them through it. I will often say, that's not what I asked. That's
All the
not,
time.
yeah. So ask yourself that question. Like, wait, is that a question that was actually asked here? I'm answering a question that doesn't need to be asked. So that, well, what's going on right now? Well, it feels like that's not what I asked. I asked what's going on right now, not what it feels like. So yeah, there's a little bit of aggressive presence in that. I like it.
I think we
Totally.
should get shirts that say that. We can like get shirts that say like cross out be present, because I hate those dumb shirts anyway.
Yeah.
And get aggressive,
Aggressively present.
Aggressively present.
I'm so in for this.
I really think
it's 5:30 in New York. Give me till 6:30. Well, we'll have those.
We'll have t-shirts.
That is so true.
I mean, we're laughing, but I think it's a really useful, we're talking about how do you apply principles of mindfulness, because it's so confusing for people. Aggressive presence is not soft focus. There's no outcome to it. It's really concrete. And that's what we're looking for.
And I'm going to go ahead and throw out like because it's always the dialectics. It's both sides. Once you stop yourself, it is to soften.
Yes.
Right. Like it is to just be instead of like, it's not like I'm going to be perfectly present 100% of the time, when we totally see people get stuck in that. Like I have to be perfectly present, and we've missed the boat. It's just that moment of interruption is much more aggressive than I think people think it's supposed to be, which is totally reflected in session when I'm like, I'm going to ask you to stop. Right. And not in a rude way, but like if somebody's ruminating out loud and going over and over the content and telling me about like how the meaning and how what if this and what if that, I'm going to be like, look, let's pause, right? Like right now, look at what you're doing. You're doing it, right? Like you're doing it out loud with me. Pause. Do you really want to keep doing that? Can you instead accept the feeling that's generating all of this?
Yeah. So the pause or the aggressive stop or the hitting the brakes is to not so that you can do more things better. It's so you could do less things better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Do less. Cool. Love it. But first you have to be able to pay attention. You got to be able to pay attention, or else you don't even know that's happening. Like you never see the choice point. If it just stays on autopilot, you never see your choice point.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have to notice when you're starting to get hijacked.
Yeah. So then let's apply that. Like Joanna and I, we've done some of those things. We did a couple of distress tolerance things a couple of years ago. And we always talked about like bottom up. Like that's a hard sell too, I find, for my clients. Like, I know you want me to teach you how to be present, mindful, and perfect when you're panicking or when you're having a torrent of thoughts about hurting your dog that you don't want to do. But we got to start from the bottom up. You can't just decide to only be present when you're triggered. It won't. Does it work? Yeah.
No. And I think we can also view it. Maybe this is part of the sell is like, again, don't you want that for your life anyway? Because this is the only moment that you're ever really alive in. So if you're not going to be present, you're gonna miss the moments, whether you're anxious or not.
Hmm.
So I think that can be a way to support people in really prioritizing this practice more generally, so that they're building the skill outside of a level, 10 panic, like, which of course, practicing any skill when you're like new skill is hard. And then you add it, you're dysregulated and forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally am with you, Lauren. I'm a huge believer, discomfort's discomfort. Whether it's, I mean, obviously, if it's your worst anxiety, that's going to be higher. So, and I know, Drew, we tried to sell this, so start with something, start with something that's easier, like leave your cell phone in a different room for a period of time.
Yep.
And so you start, because you're going to feel uncomfortable, because to your brain, that's so unfamiliar.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you intentionally do that, the whole practice is, how are you going to respond differently to the discomfort?
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it kind of,
can you, what?
No, you finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So can you soften, can you relax into that discomfort? Because then you're showing your brain safety, which we know we have to do. And it's a pretty low stakes. I know people are going to be like, but what if my kid calls and it's an emergency? Like, no, like, come on.
Yeah.
The possibility of that is so low, but it's something that you can practice and build on, and discomfort's discomfort.
Yeah. That forces you to use that watching or that awareness skill.
Yeah.
Too, because I left my phone for that. That's a good example. I have my phone in the other
Yeah.
room and like, this is foreign to me. I don't really like this and blah, blah, blah. But like, hang on a second. You would have to watch the feeling of discomfort arise in you then.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to.
You practice and you see, especially if you're committed to more than 5 seconds, how your brain will get used to it and your body will get used to it. And that, you can witness, the discomfort's going to go up. And then if you just stick with it long enough, the discomfort's going to go down.
Yeah.
And then maybe it arises again, right?
Yes.
But it's like, it's naturally fluctuating over time. It's one of the beautiful things I will say about meditation practice in particular, is that it really gives you a window into that happening, to watching the whole drama of life playing out in your mind. Because there's not a lot vying for your attention when you're, often eyes closed and focused on something relatively boring, like the sounds in your environment, right? Like it really becomes clear, that process that you're talking about.
Yeah.
People tend to have a difficult time with but okay, fine. Mindfulness is good for anxiety, but it doesn't work for me because they don't understand the difference, or like maybe it's just a hard sell and it needs more explanation. Like, no. The connection between sitting on your sofa or a cushion or something for 5 minutes on a Tuesday morning and panicking in a plane because you think you're going to open the door and try to jump out because you're so anxious, there really is a connection, I promise. And that's that sitting on your sofa or sitting on the cushion teaches you to watch, to pay attention to the machine that's operating. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's really hard because it requires patience and practice. And like, I wish I could tell you how to just feel better on the plane, but I can't. I don't have a way to do that.
But how often do you find yourself saying to people, like, speaking of like just wanting to feel better on the plane or wherever,
Right.
like how often do you say to people when they say like, well, it's not working? Like, what does working mean?
Yeah. That's always, I think we all ask that question. What does it mean to work? What does that mean? What do you hear, Joanna? What do people say?
Well, that is the work. I mean, the meditation is the work. I mean, the mindfulness is the work.
Right.
Right. That whole attitude of non-striving. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I often describe it's like, it's the difference between the formal and the informal is like going to the gym. Because, a lot of people that I treat go to they go to the gym for their physical fitness. And like going to the gym, why do people go to the gym? Especially if they're older people, they go to the gym so they can bounce back from surgery. They can bounce back from health, from injury faster. And I'm like, well, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I've been playing. Sorry, go ahead.
You have to do the formal practice to get the technical skills down of how to do it, so that when you're in life and it's, which is like a series of exposures, you know how to bounce, you know how to respond and bounce back better.
Because
Yeah.
I practice this on my sofa.
Yeah.
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 But it's a brutal sell.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's like, oh, yay. You mean I just get to like tolerate this? This is fun. I'm just going to sit here and like watch thoughts. That sounds delightful. I have been playing around with this idea, like sort of furthering this metaphor around the gym, because I totally agree with you. But maybe something to flesh out because it's not totally thought through yet. I find it really fascinating. People don't go to the gym and expect to get to a point that they will breathe less hard, right? The goal of like working out isn't to necessarily never have shallow like breathing. It's to do that so that your overall system is more capable, right? Like you're trying to exercise so that your cardiovascular system is like better. And I think that there's a relationship between that and what like this idea of the cell, right? Because it's like we're not trying to get you to watch your thoughts so that you have less thoughts or you have less anxiety or any of those things. It like we actually need those things. Like that's a part of it. Just like going to the gym involves breathing heavier, even though ultimately the goal is that you have better cardiovascular health, which might lead you to actually breathe more slowly or have a lower heart rate, whatever. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I often try to tell people the gym thing that I throw in is like mindfulness practice and meditate. It doesn't seem like it makes any sense, but it's like going to the gym. But people will often say like, oh, so what I'm building is my calmness. Like, so I'm building calm muscles or regulation muscles. No, it's the gym for attention. You're
Yeah.
going to
Totally.
you're taking your attention to the gym and exercising your attention. That's what you're exercising.
Yep.
Because then we get back to the hard sell. Okay, hang on. I have to learn to pay attention so I can do what? So you can pay attention when you're really triggered. So I can do what? So you can choose to be really uncomfortable on purpose.
Like,
I'm
why
out.
would I do that?
Well,
Call another therapist. I'm out. Yeah. So
and if you went to the gym and all you did was focus on how much you hated it, especially if you're doing something really hard at the gym, you're not going to last very, very long.
yeah,
Right.
this
You
isn't
have
working. Like
what?
this isn't working. I put more weight on the bar and I couldn't lift it. It's not, this is the gym doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, so you really do have to be, you really have to work on zooming out. You have to work on softening in some ways. You have to work like all of these things. You have to like, it does work. But I think people still have people don't really want to be alone. Like, I hate this word, like alone with their thoughts, whatever that means.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think that is, I hear that so much.
Yeah. Yep. It's a scary place to be for a lot of people, I
It
think.
is.
But I
And
think also it's like people don't want to be alone with their emotions is really what we're
you're right.
talking about. And
Exactly.
yeah.
You're so right. I think that is, yes. I mean, I hear that so much.
It's
Same.
probably really good, Lauren, because if I'm alone with thoughts about pizza, I'm good with that. I love pizza. Thoughts about something difficult make difficult emotions, and those I don't want. I can't, but I want to be quiet with those. So I hear that.
And how do I deal with this if it comes up? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so hard. It's
I find interesting about the gym. Let's stay on the gym for a second. What I'm really interested in is if you go to the gym, especially if you are strength training, and Joanna can attest to this, if you have a big ass loaded barbell over your face, you are paying attention in that moment. So like, what are you not paying attention to? How you feel, what you're worried about, what you're afraid of, a psychotic break. These are the things you're not paying attention to because you have no choice but to not fall off the treadmill, not get sucked into the stair climber, and not drop a barbell on your face.
Yeah.
So I suspect
all important things.
all really important things. I suspect that exercise, the gym, athletics, playing pickleball, whatever, like you are paying attention to something for some extended period of time and not paying attention to all the things that your fear wants you to pay attention to. So I don't know. Physical benefits, sure, but also I'm paying attention to something else.
Yeah. And I was going to, because I thought you were going to go a total different direction with that. Like cardio, exposure, right?
Sure.
Right. Like your heart rate's going up. You are literally being anxious, like having a lot of the physical symptoms of anxiety and learning that it's perfectly safe to have them. That's another. So really what we're saying is go to the gym, I
Well,
guess.
yeah, we probably have this turn into a fitness commercial, but I might suggest too that like people are like, well, then I should exercise. Yeah, you should. Maybe you should exercise in something that requires a little bit more attention. Just
Yeah,
running on a treadmill, you can do mindlessly. So
totally.
you run on the treadmill and you time travel into your worries while you're on the treadmill. So you don't get that benefit. You get the physical benefit, but you don't get the mental benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I think a lot of people exercise they're distracted.
Mm.
They lift weights in a way that they're not really pushing themselves. I mean, I think you're right that we can do it in a very intentional way where you have to if you're doing something, especially like working on mastery with exercise, like with weight training, all those voices are in my head about, oh my gosh, well, what if I can't get the bar up? What if? But I have to, a lot of my work is not putting like coexisting with them. I can't make it the loudest voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise you drop the dumbbell on your face or the
That's probably
barbell,
another
whatever
reason
it is.
why, yeah, we'll bring this into it too. Might as well while we're at it. Like we talk about, mindfulness and meditation for anxiety. Well, we're trying to clarify that, make it practical. And then people often hear about yoga too. You should do yoga. Why do we do yoga? Yoga is just paying attention to where your body is. That's all it is.
Uh-huh.
It's not anything else.
No,
Right.
and it's also one of the things that because I've had a yoga practice historically is like you have to watch discomfort. It's physical discomfort. Like it's very clearly like, okay, and my quad is burning. Like this is happening right now. And I'm just sitting here with that, which I think actually has a really great parallel to
Yeah.
like to navigating anxiety. And I will say, like, I think it's uniquely positioned mindfulness and meditation practice to navigate mental behaviors. I think that's one of the like I'm just finishing the book on the mental compulsions workbook for OCD, and like the whole of it is on how do we navigate mental behaviors. And like the reality is we don't know the difference oftentimes between thoughts and thinking, and then we get caught up in thinking, which, as we were kind of talking about last time, is like it fans the flame of emotion, right? And so we kind of continually build this forest fire, and it's so intense versus learning how to go that sort of aggressive stop of like, oh, thinking, right? Like done, next, what was I just doing? And whether that's getting back to the barbell or
Okay.
dumbbell, what's the right terminology, you guys? I'm
Depends on
not
It depends what you're doing.
the
It depends what you're doing.
I need
Stick
so
with it.
much
We'll,
instruction.
we'll teach you. Stick with us. It's fine.
Thanks. Okay.
You can teach us yoga. That's fine.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is another 30 minutes on like the practical application of how we can talk about this for weeks. This is not an easy topic necessarily, but like I think if I was going to wrap it up and put a bow on it, and I'm curious what your bows will look like, guys. But
Oh, don't put me on
oh, come on, put a bow on it. I'm going to use it. Like, what is your bow going to look like? But my bow would be like, you got to really super simplify this. Do not overthink mindfulness. It's because I think a lot of people do it. Like it's just paying attention, just practice paying attention. That's it. That's if I could tell you to do anything, it would be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? What would you throw in?
I think like I love the simplicity aspect. And I think you're right, really honing it down. The only thing that I found to be like a sort of an additional piece of that that's been really important in my practice personally, and I've seen it be professionally, is with kindness, right? Like attend to things in a manner that is not like a drill sergeant. You're not beating the hell out of yourself, right? That's where that like part of the non-judgment piece is so that's so important. So like paying attention gently, like with a quality of gentleness. How's this for a bow? This is the longest bow that's ever happened, by the way. But paying attention with kindness, so that, and I'm going to borrow from Stephen Hayes here, you can get out of your mind and into your life, right? Like that is, I guess ironically, mindfulness is really about getting you out of your mind, right? Like it's getting you grounded. Yeah. Joanna said it beautifully last week. It's like a neck down versus a neck up. Like let's get you engaged so that, yeah. Anyway,
or at least recognizing when you're in your mind and is this workable? Another,
do I want to be here?
Right. This is working. It's not. Okay. Well, then I can move somewhere else. I'll pay
Exactly.
attention to something else. Then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Joanna, you got a bow, or are we like stressing you out by making?
Oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm coexisting with it though. Okay, my bow. I think what I would add is just that we have to train this attention, that we really have to, this is a skill we have to practice.
Yeah.
100%.
We have to practice the kindness and we have to practice the skill of paying attention. It's not intuitive. It's not like we're born with it. So it's something that we have to be paying attention, like training moment by moment.
Yeah.
So, all right. Very good. Like I did last time, I will come back and give you links and where you can find Lauren and Joanna. You should absolutely be following along with both of these guys because I trust them implicitly and they know what they're talking about. And actually in the practical mindfulness class that I've been running, we're going to do it together. So very soon it won't just be me like teaching that. The three of us will be working on that together. And I cannot think of two people I want to do this more with than you guys. So
triple the fun.
Triple the fun.
So good. I'm stoked.
Okay. Anyway. All right. Come back
as
and
much fun as you can have
without pickleball.
Without judgment.
Most non-judgmental fun you could have outside of a pickleball court.
Hey, I missed it today for you guys happily.
That's a terrible, and look for the, like, what was it? Aggressively present.
Aggressively present.
Looking for the aggressively present t-shirt.
So present.
We're not going to sell t-shirt. Maybe we will. I don't know. Maybe I'll make one. Anyway,
I will wear it.
All right. I'll come back in a second and wrap this up. I'll give you guys links. Thank you both. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Let me awkwardly hit the end button. Okay. Well, I had a good time having that chat with my friends, Joanna and Lauren. These are two people that I trust implicitly. They are very well respected clinicians in the anxiety disorder community. They know what they're talking about, and they have a strong mindfulness component in their practices and also in their own lives. So I trust these guys implicitly when it comes to this sort of topic. And I hope you guys got something out of this conversation. Again, if you missed part 1, go back and watch episode 318 of the podcast from 2 weeks ago. So that's it. If you would like to get in touch with Lauren or Joanna, or you want to follow them, I will put their links on the screen, but Lauren is at theobsessivemind.com and Joanna Hardis is at joannahardis.com. If you'd like a little bit more detail or show notes on this episode, including the links to Lauren and Joanna's websites, you can go to theanxioustruth.com/319 and I'll have all the goodies there. So you can follow along with them if you would like to. If you're not, you really should, because they know what they're talking about. That's it. I will end this episode of the podcast like I always do with asking a favor. If you're watching on YouTube and you dig it, then maybe like the video or leave a comment, ask a question. I'll see if I can drag Lauren and Joanna in to maybe answer a few. Of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I create new content and upload it. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts as just audio, then if you dig the podcast, leave a 5-star review. And if you really like it, maybe write a review, a little paragraph or two that says why you like the podcast. It helps more people find it, helps more people get the help that they need. And that's why I do this to begin with. So we will be back in 2 weeks with another topic on episode 320. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we will be here. And remember, if you could take something out of this podcast episode and the last one, it would be that if you can apply the principles of mindfulness to observe objectively without judgment what's going on, even when you're highly triggered and really anxious and afraid, if you could start to do that just a little bit, then you are moving in the right direction. Because you're starting to understand what it's like to accept your current reality and to work with it instead of against it and try to control things all the times that are beyond our control. So if you could make this tiny little change and practice that every day, you are winning. It all adds up. There's no small moves in recovery. There are only valuable moves. So thanks for listening. Keep at it. I know you can do this, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Take care.